Okay, so this is my MS Stihl 311, Stihl MS 311, and it's the same as, and here's the gas line inside the tank that went bad. Here's my tank. Here's the part numbers. So it fits the 311, 391, 362, MS661, and here's the part number, 1140-358-7706. So I found them online at eBay, and then my local Stihl dealer had it too. So I had to take the carburetor off. Here it is sitting upright. And then I just pulled the gas tank off to make it a little easier. There's the wires that have to be hooked back up, which is a little tricky, but we'll get to that in a minute. I put some 2-cycle oil on the end that'll end up in there, and I'll push this through and pop it in, and okay, so now it's in, and all I did was take my needle nose pliers, and it was so easy. I just grabbed the hose from in here, and very gently put a little pressure down, and then pushed, and it just popped right in. So the new line is in. Now I just have to reassemble it. And here's the top gas line. Once I get the gas tank back in the saw, here's the gas line that actually I do believe ends up going like this. And I'm not going to put that in until I get the gas tank back installed on the machine. Here's all my parts: my air filter, fuel filter, carburetor, and this is my first one. It wasn't that hard to take the gas tank off. There's, just the obvious bolts. So the gas tank, there's this grommet right up here and a little bumper down here, 2 bolts up here and some bolts on the other side, but the gas tank just popped right back in there. It was not hard at all to pop it out, pull it back in. I also wanted to say I will put the gas filter on it after I get everything else going. And then there's a couple bolts here, there's a bolt here, and there's a couple bolts on the front of the gas tank, right under this bar here. All very self-explanatory. So for now, I just put the gas tank in. The grommets are holding it in there. I didn't put bolts here yet, and I'm just trying to reconfigure the carburetor and make sure I can get everything in there. And now I'm looking at it, and I do believe I have to put this gas line on first before I mount the tank. So okay, so I just pulled the gas tank off again and put that hose, my secondary gas hose, on the top of the tank, and then slid it in through the hole and redid it. It was very easy. Okay? Alright, I thought I would take my LED and give you a better look, but I'm noticing that the light from the LED really doesn't do it justice. So I'm trying to see if you can see that gas line down in there. It's right here. Here's this. The next tricky part is routing these wires, your power switches, and the linkage. So I'll get that going and then picture it again. So yeah, not the best light, but you can see the gas line in there and those wires. Okay, so the carburetor, I'm going to turn this LED light off for a second. The carburetor, this just slides right off the carburetor, and then you got to mount this first back in here. That makes it easier, and you get the gas line started in this corner right here, and then the carburetor slides on there, and then you can bolt it up with the air filter holder. Okay, so screwing this rubber manifold on was not as easy as I thought. You have to be careful and take your time. There's 4 bolts back in there, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and you just flex it out of the way, and then you can get at those bolts. Start at the top 2, and then get the bottom one, and then come over here and get the other bottom one. And you have to have the throttle linkage out of the way, clicked off of the rubber gasket. And now the carburetor just slides right on there. Use a 25, a number 25 Torx. Okay, carburetor just slides right on. The gas line slides on down here. Just slips right in there. You can see it there. And then the linkage is working the throttle. Okay. Okay, so then the linkage housing and the air filter holder slides right over the carburetor and into these 2 little rubber grommets. Very simple. And then now I just have to route these wires into the little clips. And I took some pictures of it before I took it apart for the linkage and the wire routing. Okay, this little cover goes here on the air filter housing. Turn my LED light off again. And 2 8mm nuts down here finalize the carburetor bolting, but I'm going to leave it off while I reroute these wires into the little nooks and crannies. Self-explanatory.